Why do some houses sit on the market while others sell immediately? As a realtor, I see listings and properties all day, every day. And I want to share top 5 reasons why I feel like some properties sit on the market longer than others. The first thing that I want to address is the MLS listing. There are so many times where I look at the MLS listing and the information is inaccurate, and I can just tell that it is inaccurate just by the photos and viewing the property. And unfortunately, there are so many realtors that don't even preview the listing before it goes up. And I feel like they have assistants put it on MLS or front desks. And unfortunately, your house isn't being distributed to the market accurately and the way that you want it to. The second thing that I always see is bad marketing. Going back to MLS, there are so many times where I see an MLS listing and the location is fabulous. I am like, this is going to work for my clients. And then I go look at the photos. And the photos make the house look absolutely awful. When I tell you, no lights on, the angles are awful. They make the room definitely look smaller. And as a realtor, I understand that rooms are usually bigger or smaller than in photos, but when buyers are looking at a home, if they see a room and it looks immediately small from the angles just because the agent didn't do 0.5 and did regular instead, or took it from the middle of the bedroom instead the back, that is immediately going to scare them away and they're going to go to the next listing. So the marketing on your listing is so important. And when it comes to marketing, I also just want to say, if your listing does not have a listing video that is going on multiple social media platforms, what are you doing? We live in a day-to-day of marketing and where that is how you're going to get the most views. And I know agents that haven't recorded a video in months and months and months. And I just feel like sellers sometimes aren't getting the best visibility for their home when it comes to marketing. And I definitely think that is unfair. And I think that is another reason why houses sit on the market, because sometimes they just put it on Matrix. They hope that people are going to look just on there, on Zillow, on Realtor.com, on Home.com. But if you are just clicking publish and you think that you're going to get calls for your home just like that, then you aren't doing the best for your seller. And that is why the home is going to sit on the market for months and months. And unfortunately, that is a lot more common. And that is why sometimes homes sit on the market. The third thing that isn't an agent or homeowner's fault, but is a reason why a home is on the market for longer, is because of limited showing availability. Where I am located, which is New York, it is a tenant favored state. And sometimes it is very, very hard to get tenants out of the apartments. So let's say a seller wants to sell a 2-family and one of the tenants is not cooperating. Unfortunately, the agent can only show 1 floor, which means the buyer is going to have to buy the unit with only seeing 1 floor, not both floors. They're unknown of the condition. They have no photos because the tenant won't let them in. And sometimes that is why homes sit on the market. That is one thing with tenant availability. The second thing is just tenant schedule as well. I feel like sometimes when selling a home with tenants, depending on how they are corresponding with the sell, sometimes you can only show on weekends. Sometimes you can only show Monday and Thursday after 7 p.m. Like, some of these tenants make crazy schedules, and unfortunately, that is a reason why homes sit longer on the market. And there's nothing that the agent and seller can do, which is unfortunate. So that is another common thing I see. Now, along with that, the fourth thing I see is no organization, clutter in the home. I've gone to listing appointments where this has been the seller's only home and all of their memories are in this home. And when I say all of their memories, I'm saying all of their memories. Like, you are lucky you can walk from one room to the other. And sometimes sellers, they don't see a problem with that. They are like, this is perfectly the way it is. I'm not cleaning the home up until it's time to sell, until we're under contract. And unfortunately, there are those stubborn sellers that even though no matter what you tell them, no matter all the pros that you list about cleaning the place, really showing the emphasis on distributing the listing the best to buyers, sometimes they don't listen and they're like, my home should sell the way it is. My neighbor's home sold, so why won't my home sell? And it's like, well, your neighbor didn't have bins and boxes all over the room that the buyers can't just walk in and they kind of just have to peek and go, okay, next. And the last one, which is most likely the most common one, which is why I left it for last, is overpricing. When you list your home, it is so important that you touch on all of these things, not just one of these things, all of these things. And pricing plays a huge factor. You can do all the marketing, you can do all the door knocking, you can do all the open houses. But if the home is priced overpriced, that is leaving so many buyers not entering the home. And there are strategies that agents and seller agents do where they like to price instead of, let's say, an agent or a seller wants to list at 1.05 million, they'll list at 999 so that they can beat all the people that are looking for under $1 million. Same thing with, like, if they're looking for a home 550, they'll list it like 5499999. But pricing is so important. And sometimes I feel like sellers overprice because they're scared. They're scared that they're leaving money on the table. But it is important to trust your agent and know that if we are looking for the best thing for you and we want your home to sell as fast as possible, and knowing the conditions and knowing everything. And those are the top 5 reasons why I see homes sit on the market compared to other homes. My name is Natalie from Connie Francisco Real Estate Group. Thank you.